All right, welcome back to the Spotter Stand. Coming at you live this week. Just left Iowa. It seemed like Iowa wasn't a real popular place with a lot of guys. The turnout was a little low both nights, and I think along with Pockets, most of us are probably just glad to be the heck out of there. Um, Back in the booth with us. BSR Pockets is back this week. BSR Hot Rod with us. We've got Rugrat in the booth, and once again, special guest from the American Truck Syndicate. We've got Jeremiah the Storm Chaser in the booth. How you guys doing this week?
Doing
What's up,
good.
everybody?
One thing
Doing
I'd
good.
like to do here right off the bat before we get going with the show, Jeremiah, I'd like to hand the mic over to you and let you give a plug for your page one more time this week.
Well, thank you, sir. If you guys would please go over to the Urban Interceptor Storm Chase Team Facebook page. We currently have a fundraiser going. We've got a lot of equipment that either needs repaired, updated. I know a couple of the trucks, they need some body panels replaced. Um, and we have raised the stakes. If we can reach the goal, not super out there. It's only $2,000. We're about a quarter of the way there right now. If we reach that goal, my wife said she's going to tase me, and I will live stream it on our Facebook page. Thank you, Pockets, for getting her to say yes to that. I
That
used to
sounds like
like
a
you.
great idea. I bet that would get that's you're gonna get 1 million views off of that.
Hey, we need it, and I'm willing to do it to raise that money. I've got, 5 more guys counting on me to get this fundraiser done. So whatever it takes.
That was a great idea. Whoever came up with that was a pretty good idea. I must say so myself.
Pockets came up with it. I mean, I used to like him. I'm not too sure now after all this,
I
but
don't
we'll see what
blame you.
happens. We will see what happens.
I've got a something I would like to maybe pitch in here. Um, how about you let her choose the location on your body that she's going to shoot you with the taser?
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
now see,
No.
I didn't even go that far.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll post a poll up on my Facebook page, and I'll let you guys decide.
Really.
You better limit the
Yes.
choices.
You better
You better
you've
limit the
done
choices.
enough. I wouldn't
No,
add any
you
more
know I'm gonna
insulting.
limit the choices.
It's
I ain't going there.
Yes.
I would
I
say it's
mean,
got to
Uh-uh.
be torso and front or back.
I'll do
That's it.
torso, shoulders, shoulders, arms, legs. You ain't hitting me there. Not happening.
arms. Does that include armpits?
But,
Whoa.
Absolutely
but,
not. No, no.
but, but, put it on the butt. Make sure you put that
I
one in
I
there.
will I will add the butt.
I mean,
Well,
if I had to pick a spot that I wanted to get, I think that'd be the best place to get tased.
No,
I think it would
I,
hurt the
no.
least.
well, actually, I think it does kind of hurt. Leaves a mark. You got to pull those things out, and you're gonna have to sit down for a while after that.
Yep.
So, you might
Yeah,
not
but you're
want to get
still
shot there.
you're still got to bend over, so anywhere in the torso is going to be affected. Period. With that too. So yeah.
The last time I got hit with a taser, it was kind of like the stomach region, and then I had to go get recertified again, and they hit me in the butt. I tell you what, I'd rather get hit in the stomach.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You're speaking from experience. So yeah, there you go.
Yep.
well, and I told him, I said, look, these fundraisers and stuff like that, they can be kind of tricky. So what I suggest is that show the people that you're willing to put it all out there on the line, do what needs to be done. This is how important it is to you. I said, come up with something. Eat a Reaper pepper live on Facebook or on video or YouTube or whatever Facebook. And then I said, you could I said, go down to the police station and let them tase you till you pee in your pants. And I really think people would be apt to give a donation, no matter how small, how large, and see if that increases the donations. So he is willing to put himself on the line and go through what has to be a certain amount of pain and trouble there. So he's you know what I mean? He's willing to put it out there on the line. So I think people would view that as, hey, help this guy out, man. I mean, he's willing to let his wife tase him, for God's sake. Give him $1. 2,000 people give that guy $1. It's all over with, and we can laugh about that for weeks on Facebook. I will watch that probably 100 times.
Well,
Oh,
here,
I know you will.
well, the good thing is you get to donate to a good cause, and you also get a little something
Yes.
entertaining out of it. So,
Great
yeah.
point, Larry. Great cause, because these storm chasers, and I've already told him he needs to quit calling it storm chasing and call it storm catching. And because that's something none of them do. They call themselves storm chasers. I said, get out there and call yourself a storm catcher. Set yourself ahead of the pack. Y'all are chasing, we're catching. And Jeremiah has been gracious enough to he and I are working on something that's going to be special for next week. So you're all going to pay close attention to the Facebook pages and stuff. You're going to be seeing some posts come out. And this is something that nobody really knows about yet. We're still working on it. I need to do a few things, a few promotional items to get the word out and everything. And I'll be working on them this week so that we're ready for next week. And he's going to do something special for us, because he wanted to do something for us, because we were one of the people that came out and said, man, we see a guy, he needs some help. This is what he does for a living, so we're more than willing to help him, and he wants to kind of repay the favor, and he and I are working on something special for next week during the race. So y'all just pay close attention. You'll be seeing some stuff come out. I got to put some things together, so we
Yes,
appreciate
absolutely.
Jeremiah.
Hey, without you guys and the whole racing and truck syndicate community, we wouldn't even be halfway where we are right now. You guys have been so helpful with everything, and I appreciate it.
With that all said, Pucks, I know you had asked me where we were racing at next week. So I didn't know if you've seen my text, but Chicagoland, all 3 nights.
Oh,
I'm
really?
so tired of seeing Chicagoland.
I am excited about Chicagoland. That is absolutely my most favorite speedway
I live
track.
45 minutes from it. I've seen enough of it.
Maybe if y'all would have mentioned that next week is Chicagoland, I might have been a little more happy about the struggles I had at Iowa. But I needed to ask, don't we go back to Iowa again?
Only in the trucks, I believe.
Just for you.
All right, maybe I can struggle through it. But boy, that track just throws me for a loop. I never have got a grasp on it. I don't know what it is about that track. I just don't know.
Well, I'll tell you who does got a grasp on it. That's BSR Terry Scott. He dominated this last week at Iowa, both of the races, and he's got a handle on this Iowa track. That's for sure.
And he's pretty crafty. He probably circled that on his schedule and said, if I spend a little time here, these guys, you think I want to practice at that track, even though I need to? But, he probably had that penciled in, did a little homework, and he goes out there and he does exactly what he needs to do and wins the race. So hats off to him. Good win, Terry.
I do know that I wouldn't mind going back to Iowa again. Just saying.
Larry's got a handle on it. He even tried to help me a little bit, and it just didn't really
pan out for you.
Yeah, Larry had a good finish both nights. Actually finished the same spot both nights.
Yes, I even green flag led quite a few, and I think in both actually. So, yeah, I had a pretty good car.
And I have posted a link to the Urban Interceptors in the chat. I don't know if that link will work or not, but I did post that up there. So
thank you, sir. I was slacking.
There is links posted around on some other pages as well, I believe. Pockets, don't you have one on your page? And there's one on the American Syndicate page.
Yes, and you will be seeing those links more coming this week that everybody can click on and check it out and everything. And look, like I said, $1 makes all the difference in the world. 50 cents makes all the difference in the world because
Oh,
there
absolutely.
should be, I mean, there should be a couple of thousand people see this. So if everybody just donates $1 or $2, then we'll
They'll
get
get
him
where
up
they
close
need to
to where he
go, right?
wants to. And I want to see him get tased. Damn it! Please give till it hurts.
Hey, on
And,
those,
and another note, any donation over $100 gets either your personal name or your business name put on the truck as well.
Well, there you go. See?
Hey, he's thought of everything. That's a fair deal right there. I mean, if you got a business out there, you want to see some coverage, get some footage. You'll see on Facebook in the middle of some guys chasing this damn storm. There you go. Hey, that's pretty good
And
advertising.
because we are so late in the year, I will turn that into your name will be on the truck next year as well.
There you go.
hey, that's
beat
something
that.
to think about. Maybe I ought to see if I can take up a collection at work, and we can get Sears Automotive put on the side of that thing.
Absolutely.
Hey,
There you go.
what a great thing to have on the side of a storm chasing truck. Sears Automotive.
Oh yeah.
Hey, on those tasers, I meant to ask, doesn't that continue shocking you as long as she holds on to the trigger? If she can like let go and re-squeeze it, it'll shock you again.
Yes, up to 100 times on most.
Now,
Oh,
let's be
Oh,
clear.
baby.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I told him to go to the police station, and then he was the police station was a little apprehensive about it, and you could
My
understand
local
why.
police station, me and them have such a tight bond. They said, no, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not going to throw this into the mix of what we've got going on. I said, no problem. I understand. Well, I bought the wife a taser. 15 minutes after I bought this taser, the police department, a town over, got a hold of me and said, absolutely. You tell us when and where. I have no problem doing it.
They don't
They're
like
like,
you,
we know
apparently.
you.
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't be surprised that a police department wouldn't want to do it, especially if it were being broadcast live on Facebook. Yeah, I mean,
Hey, I
they
Yeah,
even
because
told them, look,
somebody.
we could make it a training scenario where I just take off from you guys and you guys got to catch me if that's what you want.
Could
Yeah,
make
but
it an instructional video of what happens to you if you break the law and don't do what the police tell you.
yeah,
Or it
but
could
you
turn
could
into an
see.
instructional video of, hey, don't tase somebody there either.
But you could see how that could be misconstrued as police brutality or something
Yeah.
like that. That's why they didn't want to get involved, I'm sure.
And that's
Now,
why I told them I understand. You know, I guarantee there's going to be no hard feelings with anybody when this is over.
now, in my defense, I did offer up eating a Reaper pepper or a tablespoonful of cinnamon or something like that.
I'm not eating no damn
And see, he wouldn't do
tablespoonful of
none of
cinnamon.
that, so I
No,
came up with the taser option, and that's the one he picked. So I don't feel sorry for him.
I don't
I
feel
don't know.
like
I don't either. I know him enough just in here that I don't feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at last week's racing. We ought to be able to work through this pretty quick. Only 2 races all week last week. The team series on Saturday night was rained out, as well as the SST Super Truck Series. So Wednesday night and Friday night at Iowa is basically all we've got to go through this week. Should be pretty quick and painless. So let's get on with it. Wednesday night in the Truck Series, we did run at Iowa. And we actually had some green flag stops on Wednesday night. I think you can go 50 or so laps on fuel, so that's some pretty good runs at Iowa on fuel, over 50 laps to be able to get in green flag stops. And of course, it was, like we said earlier, BSR Terry Scott who dominated that race and took the victory. Terry Scott, I believe, sat on the pole and took the win on Wednesday night, and Terry with a great truck, led the most laps in the race, and brought home the victory. Great job, Terry Scott. Once again, you can see this is a Charlotte render. Scar is still on vacation, so we have no current renders, but I do have. I had a render of Terry Scott's truck, and so we posted Charlotte. But it was Terry that took the win at Iowa this last week. So congrats, Terry. Great job, man. Well deserved. Another repeat winner in the Truck Series.
Yes, dominant win. Led the most laps with 93. Second was BSR Texan, who had the second most laps led with 88. Mayhem, third best car out there. He led 10. He got third. Hot Rod got fourth. Vince Conway rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, and look at that laps led. It's not very often you see it line up like that. First place led the most. Second place led the second most. Then Mayhem third led the third most. Larry, you led the next most, and then Vince led the next most. Anybody after Vince only led one.
One. Yep, that's right. And then there was bunches that didn't lead any, but most of the guys that didn't lead any laps had trouble. So
Yeah, quite a few drivers it seemed had trouble. As you can see from the results there, only 13 drivers started the race, and it looks like only about 6 of us finished the race. So Iowa, difficult track for a lot of drivers, and I'm sure there's most guys will be glad that we only go back there one more time. And I believe it's only in the trucks, no other series that does the.
I believe you're right, and that would be in the chase. So that's going to be huge when we go back.
Well, Terry Scott's loving to hear that chase race.
What's going to be in the chase?
Iowa in the trunks.
Oh my God! I think y'all said that the other night. What
Yeah,
race is it going to be?
Only 3 races left in this series until we start the chase in the truck series. We got this race coming up tomorrow night that will be at Gateway International Raceway tomorrow night, and then just two races left in this truck series before the chase starts.
That is correct.
Ooh, that means there's a lot of dirt coming up.
No, we still got the chase, but yes, there's a big span of dirt coming up here shortly.
Yeah, we're gonna go through the summer section here where the dirt takes over when there's no race on the Wednesday night truck series.
Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks straight of Wednesday night racing, I believe it is.
4, did you say?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least there's 4 for sure. Straight weeks of Wednesday night racing.
That'll be something different, something fun. I'm looking forward to it. Dirt racing's always a blast.
No, not dirt. Not dirt. The trucks are running the next 2 weeks straight.
Oh. Yeah.
And then we have off for Daytona, which I'm pretty sure Thursday night's getting moved to Wednesday night because Thursday is the 4th. So that would make Wednesday night Cup. So the next 3 weeks straight will be, and then the week after that we'll be back in the trucks again.
I got you. I'm not confused at all.
Yeah, the trucks have a very limited schedule, and since we want to make it a 10-race chase, the truck chase does start a lot earlier than the Xfinity and Cup chase, but there are a lot of off weeks in that chase. So, the first truck chase race will actually be quite a few weeks ahead of the other series.
Yes, and if I'm not 100% mistaken, the first truck chase race will be in the dirt.
Ooh.
Eldora.
Yes, I believe that is the first chase race. I could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Well, let's take a look at the standings in this truck series with just 3 races to go before the chase does start. Currently, BSR Mayhem holding on to the top spot in the trucks with BSR Terry Scott moving up a place to take over second, only down by 8 Pockets dropping one position to third, down by 16. Vince Conway sitting in fourth place, down by 28. And Monty Keller, Brain Fade, and Hot Rod all tied for fifth place, down by 30 points. That's a hell of a tie this far into a series. You know, we see a lot of ties, generally 2 races, 3 races in, but we're quite a few races into this series, and we've got a tie right now for fifth place between 3 drivers. That's a hell of a race right there.
And I jumped a bunch of spots this week with my good finish to get up into that fifth place tie.
You know, don't forget that.
And Brain Fade dropped quite a few spots, I believe, because he had really horrible luck at Iowa on Wednesday night. I think he only ran, I think maybe it wasn't even 20 laps, and he was done.
Yeah, he finished the race down by 176. So he ran about 24 laps.
Yeah, the only good thing for him about Wednesday night was we only had 13 drivers, so he didn't really take a huge hit in the points. That was his big savior there. Small field.
Well, don't forget the top 5 are going to get bonus points, segment bonus points before we go into the chase. So
here's a question I need to throw out there, because this has not happened yet in the overall end of a segment ties, Pockets, inside the top 5.
We would have to revert to wins, would we not? And if none of the drivers have wins, which I believe some of them do.
I have one on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, you just do it just like we would if it was a tie for any other position for first, like we always do. If it ties it for fifth place, then we just do the revert to wins, and then second places, and then third. You know.
Yeah, that's why I was asking before we get that. You know what I mean? It's possible that we could get down there and have a tie. So
it is possible.
Checking, especially because fourth place isn't that far ahead. It's only 2 points to fourth. So that's awful tight.
Let's move over, take a look at the bonus points here in the Truck Series. Just a few races left to go before we kick off the chase, and that's when these bonus points are going to matter. Terry Scott moving up to become the second repeat driver to win a race in the Truck Series. Only myself and Terry Scott, the only 2 drivers so far to win more than 1 race in this Truck Series. Terry Scott moves up to a total of 3 bonus points with that win. And Mayhem, not only at the top of the standings, but currently still dominating the bonus point area in the Truck Series as well with 8 bonus points. He's got a 3 bonus point lead right now on second place. It looks like that's me down there with 5 bonus points. And I see Pockets, you're right there with 4. Quite a few other drivers in there with 3, but Terry Scott adds 1 to his total, and Mayhem currently sitting at the top with 8. If Mayhem manages to hold on to that lead for these next 3 races and takes that top spot, then he will get another 2 bonus points for that segment 1 top 5. Those are the only other bonus points left to be handed out in this series before we start the chase. So top 5 there in the segment 1 box. At the end of those next 3 races, we'll all get some bonus points added to their total. We'll put in the attendance points for whatever races everybody was able to show up to, and we'll have our chase standings going into race number 1 of the chase.
You know, and that's going to be, there's a lot of things that are going to happen. And once we add up all these bonus points and stuff, it's going to be like a brand new day when we start the chase. So there's still, all of that's going to change, move around when the bonus points get added in and everything. And those last 10 races, that's what we've all been working towards, the chase in each series. So some of these guys, if you look at those, if you're just looking at the standings, that's not really telling the whole story here. We won't see the whole story till we add up all the bonus points, and then we'll kind of see. And the way this is configured, this is going to keep it tight, headed into that last those last 10 races. So nobody's out of it yet. Everybody's still gotta, you can't get down if you do bad at Iowa like I did, because that's just one race. We're all working towards the last 10 in the chase. So this is going to all change, and it's going to be very interesting when we head to that first race in the chase.
Killer, I believe we were wrong. The Iowa race, the second Iowa race, is not in the trucks. It is in Xfinity.
It is
coming up, and it is coming up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks.
That's what I thought. I thought it was kind of close. So there's no Iowa in the chase.
That's right. Now, well, I don't know that for sure without actually going and checking the truck schedule, but I'm pretty sure there isn't.
Well, there's a little bright spot on the horizon. Great place, Iowa. What a great place for a cornfield.
You know you love it.
Yes.
Well, we've got a couple of hungry drivers here for some championships. I know BSR Mayhem was in the hunt for a couple of them last year. I mean, he was right there in contention up to the last race of a couple of these series last year. I know he would love to win at least one of these championships this year, and it looks like he's got a really good chance in this truck series with the lead currently in the bonus points, and he's looks like he's probably going to take that top spot in the segment, get those 2 bonus points as well. So he may go into this truck chase with a few point lead over second place and the rest of the field. So this may be a really good chance for Mayhem to step up and take a truck championship this season. He's going to have to look out for Terry Scott, though, because Terry Scott is a former Bomb Squad racing champion and, great driver. I know he's going to be there pretty much every race. I'm sure he's going to be there in the hunt for that chase. So Mayhem's going to have a fight on his hands from quite a few drivers.
Confirmed, Pockets. There is no Iowa in the truck race chase. But I was also wrong. Eldora is not the first chase race. Pocono is the first chase race.
And then Eldora? Is Eldora in the chase?
Yes. Pocono, Eldora, Michigan, and then Bristol. Then Canadian Tire, Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville. Then it's Phoenix and Homestead.
There you go.
I can't wait for Bristol. That's one of my favorite tracks.
Well, we actually have really good
races at Bristol. Yeah,
we really do. It's not as bad as you would think it would be on that little track, and it'll be a fun time. That's for sure.
Yeah, the next render I have coming up is a Bristol render, as a matter of fact. I had to substitute for Iowa. Now, we didn't race in the Cup Series this past week. Cup Series was off. Might as well give it a mention, though, before we move on to Friday night. We will be racing this Thursday at Infineon, Sonoma, road course.
Oh, that's right. And did we say where the trucks are running at this week?
Yes,
Did
Gateway.
we mention they're running at Gateway?
Yep.
Okay, all right. I didn't remember if we did or not. We got into everything else.
Yeah, so you guys get your road course cars ready to go and fired up and ready to run on Thursday night, because we're back. We're finally going to start hitting some road courses toward the second half of this season, and first one we're coming up on is going to be Sonoma this Thursday night. So you guys be ready. I know I'm going to be ready. I love road courses.
And that starts the summer of road course little section here too, doesn't it? Because over the next
That's the part that Pockets ain't going like. Come Friday nights, when we get to Iowa, you know it's every other week is a freaking road course.
I'm not. I suck at road courses, but I love racing them. So I'm not mad.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Road America features my second most favorite turn in all of NASCAR. I love Road America. Y'all better be glad we ain't on Project Cars.
Yeah, the Friday night schedules: Iowa, Watkins Glen, Mid-Ohio, Bristol, and ending in Rhoda.
Mid-Ohio, man. Whoo, that Mid-Ohio, that's a tough. But those road courses are great fun to race at, but man, they're a blast to watch. They really are.
Yes, they'll make great stream. I guarantee that.
They make some of the best streams out there. The camera angles at those tracks are absolutely fantastic, and it's just for the people who've been coming over and watching them. It'll be a hoot.
But Friday night, I didn't want to tell you, Pox, it's going to be 2 bad races in a row for you. We got New Hampshire and Iowa right together.
I ain't mad at New Hampshire, but Iowa, good Lord, I'll be thinking about Iowa while we're at New Hampshire. But Iowa made me love New Hampshire.
You know you love Iowa.
Hold on a second here. Did Larry just actually say New Hampshire?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that, Larry.
Yes.
How do you
I
usually
have.
pronounce it?
It's New Hampshire.
There you
New
go.
Hampshire.
There you go. All right, well, let's move over. We'll take a look at Friday night's racing. Friday night in the Xfinity Series, also back at Iowa. And once again, Terry Scott with a dominant performance at Iowa. I did manage to lead a few laps, but Terry really dominated Friday night, much more even so than he did on Thursday night. But it came down to a little bit of strategy in the pits at the end, and a little strategy call, and I was able to steal a race away from Terry Scott on Friday night, put that number 201 original flavored Drunken Cow jerky machine into victory lane at Iowa. Came down to, I think it was right about 20 laps to go, a little over 20 laps to go. We had a green flag pit stop, and I really rolled the dice, hoping maybe there would be at least one more caution. And I bumped it all the way up to 70 tape, which, in the truck, 70 tape, 20 laps.
Was a lot of tape.
Absolutely.
That was a risk.
For how many laps?
It was about
20.
20, yeah. And if we
70
hadn't,
tape for 20 laps?
Yeah, but we didn't get 20 laps.
Are you insane?
Well, I had a feeling the way that race had gone because, Hot Rod, he was exactly right when he said it last week that he had a feeling Friday night's race would be, there'd be a lot more cautions than Wednesday night because guys would be tweaking on their setups and getting them so loose they would be spinning out. And that's pretty much exactly what happened.
I don't remember a green flag stop, but
No,
I'm
there
not going
wasn't.
to argue with you.
There was no green flag stop on Friday. There was on Wednesday, but
Yes,
not
Wednesday
on
we
Friday.
had 2.
Yes.
We had 2 green flag stops on Wednesday. Wednesday was a great race.
So not only was that a little bit of strategy that I played, but when we did have the other caution, we were going to be going back to green with, I believe, just inside of 10. It was about 9 or 10 laps to go, somewhere in that range. And
I think we went back with 7 to go, wasn't it?
yeah, and we had just pitted 8 or so laps before that, so I had taken 4 tires when I got to 70 tape. When I went in on that last pit stop, I just took 2 right side tires, yeah, and that's what got me out ahead of Terry Scott. And Terry earlier in the race had blown second gear, so he had no second gear. He was starting on the outside, and I had Monty Keller right behind me, so Monty was able to get a good start. Terry, with no second gear, didn't get such a great start. And Terry ended up having to battle with Monty for the first lap or two to finally get by and get back into second place. And that, with just my 2 tires and my 70 tape, I was able to stay ahead of Terry for the last few laps of the race and bring home the victory. So it's not always the fastest car out there that takes the win. Sometimes a little strategy can play into your hand, and that's exactly what I rolled the dice on Friday night and was able to get that victory. So
I think that's what happened to me, Texan. I didn't take tires on the last stop, but I did put tape on, and I just could not get the brain. I don't think I had good enough tires. I think the tires just gave up on me a little bit at the end.
That's a great way to that's a great thing to point out, because if you really think about it, very rarely does the fastest car win, because there is so much strategy that can be played. And it's, racing is not just hold your foot to the floor and hope for the best. I mean, it's a thinking man's game. You got to be up on that wheel, and you got to be thinking ahead. You got to be thinking about your options. That's part of it.
No, for God's sakes, I won at Atlanta, and it wasn't because I had to pass this car.
I'm about to tell you right now, you can almost say every win I've ever had wasn't in the fastest car.
Yeah, yep, exactly. But you just played your strategy right, and things fell your way, and you got out there, you get a little bit of luck, and you get the win.
You know, a lot of people see me riding in the back for the first 3/4 of the race, and they're like, well, dude, come on, get up there at the front. I'm like, hold on. I kind of know what I'm doing here. It's part of the strategy. I play a little bit different strategy than most people, but I mean, there's been numerous times that has played out very well because it allowed me to continue in the race without being behind the wall. So, I mean, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yep. Sometimes it bites you in the foot, though.
It does. But if you average it out, I still say
I ain't arguing that.
That's not a.
Well, Larry, let's take a look at the race results from Friday night's race at Iowa.
Yes, Mr. Texan with a great win.
And good win, Texan.
Thank you.
Terry Scott dominates the race, got second. Brinkbait third. Hot Rod fourth. And Nelly rounds out top 5.
Hey, Hot Rod with the 4th place finish Wednesday night and Friday night. So very consistent.
And led the exact same amount of laps, too. Did you see that?
Look at that. Yeah, you did. 3 laps both nights. But look at Terry Scott, 150 laps. I mean, he dominated.
He dominated. Well, a lot of that was because of the cautions. He was just way faster than you in the beginning of a run. I think you were better on a long run. You needed a long run, I think, to beat him. Had it went green, I think you would have had a better car than him at the end.
You know, I could hang with him. I could stay pretty consistently about the same gap behind him, but I just couldn't pull up to him. I couldn't get a good enough run. And you know, one thing about Terry at Iowa that I noticed, it seemed like even when he would maybe push the corner a little too hard on entry, he was able to
still get that big run off.
Absolutely. He was able to get control over it in the middle of the turn and still get a great run off the corner. Very rarely did I get a better run than him coming off the corner because he pushed it in. Most of the time, like I said, he'd push it a little hard, and I thought, there he is. He's pushing up the track. I'll gain a little bit. No, coming off the corner, there he goes. He still was able to get a good run. So, yeah, Terry's definitely got a handle on Iowa. He's got a great truck, great car there, and, you know, hats off to him dominating both nights. I really got lucky getting that win on Friday night.
Yeah, when we go back there, we're definitely going to have our hands full with him. He's definitely going to be the guy to watch out for when we come back here, that's for sure.
Hey, everybody say hi to our good friend Randy Claflin out there. Hey, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
Hey, Randy.
Hey, what's up?
Good to see you, Randy. Hopefully you'll be able to make some of the racing this week. Gateway tomorrow night and Infineon coming up on Thursday night. Let's take a look at the bonus points in the Xfinity Series. Oh, no. Let's take a look at the standings in the Xfinity Series first. It looks like I'm holding the top spot here in this series. Terry Scott and Nelly, we got another tie here in this series, but we are only a few races into segment 2, so these ties are kind of expected at this point. Terry Scott and Nelly both tied for second place, down by 6. Brainfade sitting in 4th, down by 12, and Momo rounding out the top 5, down by 16. Quite a few drivers right there close to Momo. Larry, you're right there outside the top 5 and 6. You're only 2 points out of the top 5 right now.
Yes.
Pocket's only 4 points out.
Friday. I made up some spots on Friday. Pockets dropped a couple because of bad conditions.
Hey, Pockets,
lots of racing left. I'll be all right.
Yep. Sure is. There's 11 to go yet.
There ain't any tracks left except Iowa one more time that I hate.
10.
So
10. There's 10 races left on Friday night. We're 2 in, so we got 10 to go.
well, we tend to go in segment 2. Let's take a look at how the bonus points do sit right now. I move up to take 3 wins. Looks like I've taking the most wins so far in this Friday night series. We do have two other drivers that are repeats on Friday night. Nelly has won 2 races, and Mayhem also won 2 races on Friday night. And with that victory and that 1 bonus point, I move up to tie BSR Pockets for the lead in bonus points currently in this Xfinity series. Pockets, you've had a good lead here for a little while, and finally somebody catching up to you. Both of us have 18 bonus points at the moment. Next closest driver, looks like a couple of Momo and Joba are both sitting there with 16 bonus points. And I see, who is that? Nelly in there right now with 15 bonus points. Nelly doing a pretty good job in this Xfinity series, taking 2 wins so far. Nelly, has Nelly won a championship at BSR? I would be surprised if he hasn't. I believe he has, hadn't he? One of the series sometime in the past?
Thank God, the past 17 years, yeah, probably.
It's hard to
Don't-
keep
don't-
track when it's been
Yeah,
that
no,
long.
I can't. I can't keep up with all that. But yeah, probably.
Well, the way the bonus points stand right now, he's got a good shot at going into the chase in this series. If he keeps a good, strong run in the second segment here of this Xfinity series, he's got a good chance at contending for this Xfinity Chase championship.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm starving, and I am enjoying some wonderful Grippo's potato chips that Texan and his friend Palmion were kind enough to put up for a drawing last week, and thanks both of you guys for that. That was a great, wonderful gesture, and those are delicious potato chips.
Yes, they are. They are. He came back from Ohio. He brought me 6 bags. That's not including the 6 that he brought back that I sent out to you guys. And I'm down to my last bag. I opened my last bag today, and I've got about 3/4 of it left. So I've already been through 5 bags of those. That's how good they are. That's how much I love them.
So, Ohio has given us Grippo's potato chips, but they've also given us Skyline chili and spaghetti. So they got it going on in Ohio.
Now, I know we are off in this series next week, Hot Rod, but where is our next race going to be in the Xfinity series?
Chicagoland the following week. All 3 series, not next week, but the week after, are at Chicagoland.
Now, see, I can get excited about that. That's exciting for me.
That should be good racing across the board all that week. That Chicagoland turns up some pretty good races usually.
Yes, it does. The trucks in Xfinity especially, those are going to be close races. A lot of cars going to be very equal in those 2
Yes.
series, and
Yes.
it's going to be some great racing.
Yes, that's another one of them tracks that you kind of almost need somebody to help you get by to pass. But there is some tire give up, so that helps a little bit. We'll see. It's going to pan out, but it should be good racing all across the board.
And here's the thing to remember: Chicago is the sister track to Kansas, and you know who is the hammer at Kansas?
BSRSS Joba.
That'd be BSRSS Joba. So be looking for that 56. He'll have something to say next week.
That depends if his back's better. If his back's still hurting him, he may not make it again.
I think he was getting on the mend there, so we'll hope for the best for him.
Yeah, that's good to hear if he's getting better. So,
Speaking of getting better, another driver that we might make a mention, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the pictures that were posted. Rick Craddock. You guys saw the picture of his head?
The softball or the hardball size hole in the back of his head. Yeah, I seen them. They were
That
gnarly.
was horrible.
Yes.
Well, hopefully he's mended up a bit since then, and by Thursday night, because he loves that Cup Series, hopefully by Thursday night he'll have no problem getting his headset on and getting on the track with us at Infineon.
I do hope so. I hate to see him miss a race.
Well, we've got him in
especially
our prayers, and we're hoping for the best for him, and we'll see what happens there.
yeah, especially if he's a pretty good contender in the Cup Series. So and definitely a regular. So we're hoping and praying he can make it back anyway for at least that race.
I see Randy out there in the chat. Mentioned no race Friday, and he should definitely be able to make it on Saturday. We didn't have we rained out this past Saturday's team series, so no team series race, no change in the standings there. We're going to be. Are we going to be moving that race just to the end of the?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yep.
we'll be back then at Talladega again
We will.
this Saturday.
We will.
That was my fault because I had forgot about Father's Day. And
Wait a minute, I got to check something here because I don't think we want to run Daytona twice in a row, so we might have to readjust the schedule.
I'm kidding.
That wouldn't really be twice in a row. I mean, we did skip a week, so.
No, because right now the truck would end. No, we were supposed to run at Talladega this week, so yeah, Talladega will just go to the end. Yes, that's exactly what will happen.
10-4.
And we will be running Daytona this week.
Are we going to be?
Cups.
Yeah, I was gonna
Daytona
say.
night in the Cups. And then next week will be the Talladega race in the trucks. And then the second to last race will be the trucks at Daytona night. So
that's what we got coming up this week. Tomorrow night, Gateway in the Truck Series. Beyond the Road Course at Infineon on Thursday night in the Cup Series. Friday night we'll be off, and Saturday night we will be back at Daytona in the Cup Series for the Team Series.
Night, yes, Daytona night in the Team Series in the Cup cars.
And hopefully we'll be able to get another Super Truck race in on Saturday night, or maybe since we are off on Friday, maybe we can move it to Friday night again, and like we
That's
did.
a great idea. Where's Trish?
Trisha.
Ask her if she can race Friday night.
Yes.
Yes, because that'll be 9 o'clock, so we'll be done before 10. So yeah, should be able to run that. That wouldn't be a problem.
That's what we'll do. We'll move that to prime time on Friday night. Sorry, y'all. I'm hungry as hell.
Got to start making some posts now and get that out. Make sure everybody's aware. We'll announce it Wednesday and Thursday during the races also, so that way everybody gets a heads up.
Because that's a great series, a lot of fun, and it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a race in the Super Trucks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into those.
Yeah. Moving it to prime time, that'll be a good deal because that is fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to compete in. So yeah, that'll be a good deal. I'm glad y'all brought that up.
Yes, and I'll have to get with Mr. Looney. Well, there you go, Randy. That'll give you a race to run on Friday if you can. You ran in the Super Trucks already, so
yeah, Randy, that'll be fun.
I'll have to get with Mr. Looney though because I have no idea what track, and the schedule's been so messed up now. Yeah, so I'll have to get with Mr. Looney and figure out what we're going to do with that.
Well, I hope he gets that track he's been working on, doctored up, because it went okay. It was a great track. I mean, he did an awesome job putting that track together. There was only that we could find a couple of deals with it. One, the pit stalls. Man, if you pull into the pit stalls are literally, your trucks are nose to tail. You're literally touching the car. I can't remember who it was, but they were in their pits when I went into my pit, and literally I had to pull into my pit and back up until my bumper, my rear bumper, was touching his front bumper, so that they would change my tires. So that's how close together the pit stalls were. He said he could gap those out a little bit, make a little bit of change to that. But there was one issue with a black flag when you were coming by pit lane entrance, and I don't know why it was given that. I'm sure Steve will be able to figure it out. But it's a big wide area right there, and you have to go all the way over to the far right-hand side to enter into the pits. And there's a lot of room there on the left for the track. And we weren't getting, anywhere near where that pit road entrance would be, but we were getting a black flag for some reason for, I think it was actually throwing the black flag for unsafe
Pit entrance?
pit exit.
Oh, exit.
I believe
Well,
it
that would
was
be
throwing it
weird.
for exit, which was kind of strange. So yeah, he's got to work on the black flag issue and the pit stall spacing. Other than that, man, that track was great. It was fun. There are two spots in that track where you actually jump over another part of the track. So when cars get going, I think somebody, Steven, I think it was, jumped over my truck at one point. When cars get spread out on the track a little bit, you'll have one truck going down one part of the track and another truck or two jumping over the top of them. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool.
it was pretty cool.
That'll make some crazy video anyway.
And it's a combination of pavement and dirt. So there is some pavement in the track and
And
some
then some
dirt.
dirt.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes it a true rallycross right there. So
Now the pavement areas of the track, they're narrow. They're pretty narrow. So, and you got concrete walls on both sides of you. So
Cool.
you gotta watch what you're doing there, making a couple of those turns, because there's a couple of turns that are pretty much 90 degrees almost, and really tight track. But it was fun, man. It's a great track. I'm looking forward to him being able to get that thing worked out, and hopefully we can rotate it into the schedule.
he'll
Yeah,
do it. He'll get it.
I was going to say the pit stall thing isn't that big of an issue because we don't normally pit with the super trucks. So the black flag would be the biggest thing he needs to get fixed. I would think then.
Right. Yeah.
So as long as he got that fixed, it'd be usable.
Well, I think that is about all we have got for you guys this week. Appreciate everybody who tuned in out there and watched live. I've only seen a couple guys chime in the chat there. Appreciate you guys being with us, and thanks to Pockets, Larry, Rugrat, and Jeremiah for being on here live with us. Before we get out of here, you want to remind everybody of that link where they can go one more time, Jeremiah?
If you guys go to facebook.com/Urban Interceptors, it'll take you to our Storm Chase Team Facebook page, and we have the fundraiser link right there.
All right. Hopefully you'll make that goal, and I'm going to talk to the guys at work and see, because there's quite a few of us. There's about 5 of us up front, including actually 6 of us up front, including the manager and assistant manager, and we've got about 8 or 10 techs out there. So, even if not everybody, but half the guys would chip in a little bit. We might be able to get you a little bit closer to that goal. And like I said, if we could make it over $100, that'd be awesome. That'd be, like Pocket said, Sears Automotive, that'd be a great thing to see on the side of a storm chasing truck.
Oh, absolutely. And, thank you again for all your guys' help. It means a lot. I really do want to raise this money and hit that goal, but I don't know about that whole taser thing. It's kind of got me second guessing everything.
Well, you've been tased twice already, right? So
yeah,
you know what to expect.
Yeah, you're all out of guesses. That's a done deal. You better. The only thing you can hope for now is
Not
exactly
get the
what
money.
you don't want to happen and not get the money, because you fix to get tased.
I know.
Well, you could always cheat a little bit, and I don't know much about tasers, so I don't know if this would even work voltage wise. If you maybe used up the batteries a little bit and then put them in there, if
I told him
Yeah.
low
to stand in a
batteries
5-gallon
would
bucket
work,
of
or
water.
if
I
you
ain't
would.
standing in a damn bucket of water. I ain't trying to die, all right?
It would probably. It's probably got some kind of regulator or something in there that makes sure the voltage is whatever it's supposed to be, no matter how low the battery is, unless it gets
I-
too low. I don't know.
I know the one I bought for the wife, it said 65 million volts, so I don't think it'll go above that, but that sounds like a lot, and it sounds like a lot of pain.
Yeah, anytime you get into the
65
millions,
million volts.
Yes,
Holy
sir.
crap.
The next
Better
step
you
up
than me,
was
that's all I'm
85.
saying.
They had
Sounds
an
like a lot of
85
fun to
million volt.
watch to me.
I know it sounds fun to watch.
Like I
to
said,
you.
Pocket's better him than me. That's all I know.
Uh-huh.
so do you think you'll be able to stay on your feet?
Oh, absolutely not. And I can almost guarantee I'm going to piss myself again.
That's what now that is a donation that would be well worth the effort. Because he's going to stream it live and we're going to get to see it. So everybody,
Absolutely.
please pitch in because I want to see that.
I know you want to see it because you're the one that suggested it.
I'm just trying to help a guy out. That's what I do.
Uh-huh.
Now, don't you have a young one?
Who, me?
Yeah,
I have 4.
4. Well, any of them that are, fairly young, you might want to make sure they don't see that. At least
Oh,
not
no,
at
my
least
wa-
not
my-
firsthand while it's happening.
Well, we
No,
know what you've
my
been doing in your
1-year-old
spare time.
Yeah, he didn't have a TV for a
I was
long
fixing to say,
time.
you know how that happens, right? I thought maybe we might need to have a discussion about that. And I could kind of give you a few tips on how that happens. But
Oh,
hey,
no, I know how that happens. No, my 1-year-old won't be watching it, but the 4, the 8, and the 10-year-old, they're gonna love it.
Oh yeah, the 8 and 10-year-old they'll get a kick out of that. That's for sure.
They actually wanted to be one of them that did it, and I said, yeah, no, not happening.
Well, all right. With that, we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Again, we appreciate all you guys tuning in, and we will see you guys on the track tomorrow night in the trucks at Gateway.
thanks for watching, everybody. Holla.
Hey, thanks for having me again.